we went inside the labyrinth. Hinata joined me, coupled with the 5 children and Kumara. As for Fritz, best not to disturb him. I have been awaiting your arrival. Rimuru-sama and Hinata no Hakurou came out to welcome us. My Hinata exclaimed, "You look as lively as ever, how wonderful." It appeared that the two of them had formed a friendship before I knew it. The two greeted each other amicably. My apologies for asking you to come out here when you are already so busy, Hakurou admitted. Not at all, not at all. The major issues have all been resolved, I reassured. I see, have you decided who to send to the council? Yes, a newcomer recruited by Diablo. I named her Tensura. I'll introduce you to next time. Named her? Muttered Hinata. There's a lot I could say to that, but it'll take forever, so I'll do it another time. I see. I know you like to drop your head out of the loop, so I won't bother anymore. Besides, I'll just get a bigger headache listening to you explain, she quietly complained. It was best to pretend that I didn't hear that last part. The reason why I invited you today was to show you the progress of the children's growth. Hakurou and I both have been instructing them, so I wanted to update you on their current situation. I didn't quite get what was going on, but I figured the conversation should continue first. Since you said it like that, they have grown a lot. Grown a lot, I guess. You'll find out when actual combat starts. The labyrinth is really convenient. You can fight it full force with no risk of actually dying, Hinata reminded with a smile, terrifying as always. She had the dark aura of a sadist around her. I get it. Then I'll use my clones as their opponents, I suggested, splitting my slime body from my main body. The slime looked like a knockoff version of me, but it had the actual me inside. My humanoid body, on the other hand, would be handling the battle trial. Yeah. I haven't fought against Rimuru-sensei in forever. This is awesome. Sensei, please observe how much I've improved. The bellicose couple Kenya and Alice rejoiced at this news immediately. The normally reserved Gale started to warm up to the proposal as well. Ryota resembled his usual fussy self, though his eyes were glittering with light that conveyed his anticipation. Since he hadn't called quits yet, it meant that he had acquired a level of confidence already. Now the other two, Kumara and Chloe. Then I shall go first, Arinsu. But I want to fight Rimuru-sensei as well. They were both particularly enthusiastic. I see that everyone is full of energy. It's fine if everyone comes at me at once, but since we are training, we should try one-on-one fights. Hearing this, everyone gave a smile. They seemed to be looking forward to dueling with me. It wasn't a bad idea taking them on occasionally. With this naive thought, I began to battle the kids in a simulated arena. 1 hour later. You guys, haven't you gotten a little too strong? My voice echoed throughout the labyrinth. Kenya had indeed become more powerful than the average holy knight. He synergized beautifully with the light spirit. Using bizarre stances that you would only see in manga, he brought out these phantasmagoric sword techniques. Ryota's swordsmanship was not as strong as Kenya's. Despite that, he could use both water and wind spirit magic strategically. Gale, conversely, was well balanced. His cautious personality made him focus more on defense, and he utilized his shield and sword cleverly. He also incorporated earth elemental spirit magic to make his defense almost indestructible. While the boys surprised me, the girls were even more impressive. First, Alice. No wonder people called her Empress. She pulled out a number of dolls from thin air, which were made of majesty like Beretta. They snarled at me as if they were alive. Her puppeteering skill was getting stronger, and this time, the puppets were no play dolls. If she had faced anyone else, it could have been dangerous. Moreover, Alice had one more card up her sleeve. There was a massive number of swords floating in midair that targeted me constantly throughout the battle. Scary. There was no pattern to their trajectories. If I didn't have predict future attack, I probably would have taken a couple of hits. In a few years' time, she may be able to rival a Holy Knight commander. Let's not forget about Kumara. Come out everyone, demonstrate your power before Rimuru-sama Rinsu. She shouted while unleashing her power. Her 9 tails began glowing golden and twisted behind the cute girl. The next instant, her tails turned into beasts. I should have seen this coming, but the creatures that flew out startled me, nonetheless. As expected from Clayman's ace in the hole. She was already tremendously tough with the beasts summoned from her 2 tails, and there were 8 of them this time. Her 9th tail seemed to be her own, while the rest were all magical beasts. Each creature was over rank A. An average holy knight, in all likelihood, wouldn't even be able to touch one of them. They could also share their combat experience, making their coordination flawless. Based on what I saw, she had the potential to beat Fritz and the others. This little girl was on par with the 10 great saints. I know it may sound like I was joking, but I was telling the truth. Once the beasts from her tails gained more combat experience, she would definitely become an unbelievable force. She may eventually live up to the name of the 90th floor guardian. The last one was Chloe. Here. Her yell was very cute, whereas her sword was not, even in the slightest. She was faster than Kenya. In fact, much more than that. I battled against 6 people in total this time. However, Chloe was the only person that I fought seriously. Actually, I was treating the situation too lightly. Chloe was so strong that had I not fought her earnestly, I honestly would have been in danger. Obviously, I wouldn't have died even if I had gone easy on her, but it was definitely humiliating if I lost in front of the kids. I really didn't want to embarrass myself here. That was why I had to fight seriously. Please don't call me childish. I would never hold back to preserve the little dignity I still had. I can understand your feelings. Indeed, I was just like Rimuru-sama. I needed to show everything I had battling against Lil Chloe. Seriously. Even Hinata and Hakurou, who were both more skillful in swordsmanship than me, had trouble fighting Chloe. I was genuinely shocked. Knowing the innocent Chloe was so powerful made me shiver. Ah, you guys are so good. Right. Hearing sensei say this fills me with confidence. But Chloe-chan was the really strong one. Even though everyone calls me the Empress, I've never won against her. Yeah, Chloe is so different. She looks so gentle at first glance, but she's super scary when angry. An angry Alice isn't scary at all, but when Chloe gets angry, we have to pray. Alice jumped up, furious, and shouted, "What did you just say?" Ryota and Gale simply nodded in agreement. It looked like the boys were all on the same page. Kenya was quite strong as well, I remarked. Although, your stance and swordsmanship could use some work, consider them your weak points. If you could refine those, you will move even more fluidly. His moves felt like they were inspired by manga. Although they looked wonderfully dashing, it was detached from traditional swordsmanship, and he made many unnecessary moves. If he could fix this, Kenya would become stronger too. That's precisely it. No matter how I teach him, Kenya just won't budge. Hinata sighed, baffled. She had noticed it as well. I can't help it either. That pose was taught by Masayuki-san himself. Huh. Did that idiot have to teach Kenya such superfluous sword techniques? I mean, it did look pretty cool in hindsight, so it wasn't entirely useless, but knowing Masayuki's actual skill, it suddenly made me think that such a stance was completely trivial. No wonder the stance looked like it came from manga, it clearly was. Alright then, Hakurou interjected. There's no use talking. I shall instruct you personally to remove your bad habits. I'll train you well and make your movement as smooth as flowing water. Hakurou's method was different from Hinata's in the sense that he wasn't entirely faithful to traditional swordsmanship. It seemed that he was keeping some of his more heretical techniques to himself, which was why if he found some skill useful yet non-traditional, he would focus on refining those techniques in secret. Thankfully, it appeared what Kenya learned was not entirely wasted. I left the rest to Hakurou. As opposed to that, Chloe's swordsmanship was quite similar to Hinata's. Your moves were very beautiful and effective. Chol smiled happily at my praise. Yeah. It looked just like Shizu-sensei's, that's why I have been working hard to imitate it. Even though you call it imitation, it's not that simple to learn. It may be a different case if you learn by using skills like I do, but you've mastered this entirely through your talent and hard work. You should feel proud. Indeed. I have had all sorts of disciples in the past, yet I've never seen anyone rivaling the talent of this young girl. Your future is very promising. Hinata and Hakurou were both rigorous teachers, yet they were both praising Chloe. It sounded like she was extraordinarily talented. Considering how young she was, there was no telling how much she would progress if training continued. On one hand, I was looking forward to it, but on the other hand, I couldn't help but feel a tinge of fear. Alright, back to the focus of today. Hinata seemed to have other goals during her visit here. The reason why I called you here, for one, is that I wanted to show you the progress the children have made. These children are all very adept, but they are still young. In order to prevent them from straying off the right path, I hope you will get to know about their current states. It went without saying that I had been keeping an eye on the matter as well. Nevertheless, I decided to heed her advice. Hinata was treating these children, who were previously tended to by Shizu-san, as her siblings. I understand. Hakurou will take care of them too, plus there are a lot of seniors who can help them in this town as well. I will do the same so that they won't go down the wrong paths in life. I knew you'd say so. I brought up what I said just in case. This gal really worries too much. Hinata really did have a gentle side despite her usual frigid demeanor. Well then, what were your other reasons? I asked Hinata while peeking at the children who were in a group fight against Hakurou. Well actually, the main reason why. Hinata paused upon saying so and turned her eyes to the children. Even though this was Hakurou, taking on all 5 of the children at once was still tricky. Although he could see through the children's intentions, if he had reacted just a tad bit slower, he would have sustained a fatal injury. If just considering their constitutions, the children completely outmatched Hakurou. Naturally, he could not be careless. By the way, Kumara did not participate. Had she joined and fought seriously, they would have won against Hakurou with sheer numbers. Nonetheless, the team had Chloe right now, so the children had the upper hand. I thought they had wonderful team composition. It was as if they were putting on a martial arts performance. It honestly was captivating. She's so young yet so strong, Hinata muttered, her eyes fixed on Chloe. While Kenya, Ryota, Gale and Alice were also very strong, Chloe was abnormally powerful. If she were absent, Hakurou could have ended the battle already, rather than being in knee-deep mud right now. And soon, the simulated battle ended.